My name is Ethan Coleman, and I'm addicted to probing snakes.
Ethan has been addicted to probing snakes since he was 7 years old. Ethan's obsession developed when he caught his first lizard. From there, his addiction bloomed into their slithery relatives.
I would walk to the soccer field with my dad. There was this dirt road along the end of our cul-de-sac, and at the bottom there was a soccer field where we'd go to play. And I would always find these western fence lizards along the sides. They were out basking, and I would pick them up, and it started with whatever I could find to probe them. I would use sticks, anything really. And that was before, of course, I found out about snakes. Since then, I haven't gone back to lizards. Looking back, I do regret it. There was no need for me to probe them. I'm really glad that I found snakes, and I plan to stick to snakes. I mean, I moved on from lizards for a reason. They're so blatantly sexually dimorphic, you don't need to probe them. I mean, you could, but that just doesn't get you anywhere. There's no thrill. But sometimes the male lizards have some cloacal bulges on either side that run down the length of the tail, and that's how you can tell if it's a male. But still, nothing worth probing. It's embarrassing. I can't just come out and be like, yo, guys, I probe snakes. I have to sneak into my apartment and shut the door quietly. Sometimes they just walk in and I have to pretend like I'm not probing my snake 3 times a day. It's really embarrassing. That's why I feel like I need to keep it a secret.
Ethan is so addicted, he decided to keep one of these serpents with him at all times.
Now, sexual dimorphism is fairly rare in snakes, except for the fact that males typically have the thicker, longer tail because they need a place to store their hemipenes. But I try not to pay attention to that when I'm out looking for snakes. It ruins the surprise. The probing process itself is fairly simple. You insert the probe into the cloacal pocket of the snake. The probe is inserted 3 to 5 scales. That's how you know it's a female. It depends on the snake and species, of course, but if the probe goes around like 5 to 12 scales, that's how you know it's a male, because the probe is being inserted into the hemipene pockets. I definitely do prefer to probe a wide variety of snakes, but sometimes when I'm herping and I'm unsuccessful, maybe it's the weather or I'm just unlucky, I kind of have no choice. I have to probe the snake that I have. If I don't, I start shaking, I get really stressed out, I can't do my schoolwork, and probing my snake still gives me a little bit of that satisfaction, not nearly as much as I would get from probing a new species and determining its sex. But sometimes you have to make do.
Although he grew power hungry and sick of being restricted to one snake, he ought to probe different species. Routinely, Ethan ventures out for new serpents to probe and sex. Ethan's friends and family worry he will soon branch out beyond squamates.
Yeah, I walk into Ethan's room like 3 times a day, and like half the time it's just probing snakes in the corner. Yeah, it's getting really out of hand. I've tried to get him to see a therapist about it, but he just won't go. He just keeps hiding away.
Now I have sought help from professionals, and of course they've recommended that I stop probing. They recommended that I pop to determine sex. And popping essentially is positioning your thumbs on the snake's tail and pressing firmly against the vent or the caudal scales until the genitalia pops, essentially. And that's how you determine the sex of the snake. But for me, it just does not give me the same satisfaction as probing the snake. It just won't work.
To better enhance his probing experience, he's taught himself every physiological detail of serpent male and female genitalia.
So although the males have 2 hemipenes, they actually only use one during mating. So they have one hemipene that's attached to the left testicle and then the other hemipene that's attached to the right testicle. And when he intertwines the tail with the female, one hemipenis is averted and inserted into the cloacal pocket of the female. I watch a lot of snake porn. I'm not going to branch out past snakes. I mean, I could go out and probe testudines or crocodilians, tuataras if I find them, but they don't have hemipenes. They just have one penis, and that's not fun. I am aware that my addiction affects the people around me, but I'm not going to change for anybody. I am who I am, and my addiction will stay because I enjoy it. I don't care what people say. I will continue to probe. Snakes.